today. So today's video topic is subtraction using place value. In the last video I spoke about addition using place value. So today I want to do the reverse of that and do subtraction. Okay? So on the last video I discussed with you exactly what it means by place value. So if you are unsure about that, go back and watch my previous video, addition using place value, where I explain a little bit more in detail, specifically what that means when we're talking about place value, because you will hear your kids come home talking about that, and if they don't come home talking about that and they're in second, third, and fourth grade, even in first grade, then you should be asking them about that as it refers to the numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to start with this equation, 63 minus 28. So I'm going to first break this number down, or expand it, or that means to stretch it out, into its place value, 60 plus 3. Okay? And I'm going to subtract that from 28, or 20 plus 8. I'm going to move this arrow because I don't want anyone to get confused by the arrow and subtraction and all that. Okay? So here I have 20 plus 8. Alright, so now I'm going to subtract these two numbers, 63 minus 28, or 28 from 63. Alright, so the first thing I do is I start in the ones place value. Okay? Which means I'm going to start here with this 3, and I'm going to ask myself, can I subtract 3 minus 8? Okay? When kids ask themselves that, they say, oh yeah, I can do 3 minus 8, that's 5. And I say, are you sure it's 5? Put up 3 fingers. And I always go here. And they're always like, what? So I go, put up 3 fingers, and can you take 8 away? 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, I can't take 8 away. Why not? Because I don't have enough. Okay? So now that I know I don't have enough ones to take away 8 ones, that means I need to do what's called exchanging, or to parents, you know it as borrowing. Okay? I don't say borrowing because you don't give it back. I mean, when you borrow something, you give it back. So we exchange. I teach my kids, go, all that, go to your next door neighbor situation, knock on their door, ask them, can you borrow a 10? Can you have a 10? Not borrow it because you ain't giving it back. Ask them, can you have a 10? They'll say, of course, your neighbor's very generous. So we're going to go to this tens place, and we are going to take a 10 and exchange it. So we're exchanging that 10 for ones, because in the ones place there can only be ones. You can't have a 10 in the ones place. So we're going to exchange it for 10 ones. So here I'm going to take 10 away from the 60. This 60 becomes a 50 now, because 60 minus 10 is 50. And now that 10 that I am taking from this tens place is now going to be added to the ones place. So here I have 3 plus 10, which makes a total of 13. Okay? And then I like to cross this out so that no one gets confused about this equation being here. And now we know that this 10 that was here has been added to the 3. It doesn't become the 3. You don't cancel out the 3. It's being added to the 3. So now we have a total of 13 ones in the ones place. And now, do we have enough to subtract 8? Yes, we do. Okay? And we know that 13 minus 8 is 5. 50 minus 20. So, parents, I just want to go ahead and put a plug in right now. If your children are struggling with knowing or figuring out how to subtract multiples of 10, I want you to really, really practice with them this year, every day, understanding multiples of 10, okay? Because if they're in second grade, as soon as they get to third grade, they got to know that already. They have to know it, okay? So, multiples of 10. If I have 50 minus 20, that is essentially the same thing as 5 minus 2, which is 3. We just add a 0 at the end because there are multiples of 10s, which we know we skip count by 10s, 10, 20, 30. All those numbers end with a 0. So 50 minus 20 is 30. Put my plus sign in the middle. 30 plus 5 is 35. So 63 minus 28 equals 35. Okay? Now, some parents may be asking themselves, why do I got to do all of this? What is the point of all of this? Okay? The point of it is that Common Core expects, and we as adults and as parents and as educators should expect how our expectations high of our students, and they should know what each one of these numbers actually means. What does that number represent? This number is not just a 6. It's in the tens place, so it means 60. This number is not just 2. It's in the tens place, so it means 20. Okay? That's the whole point of doing all of this. And when they get up to 4th grade or 3rd grade, some will start learning this in 3rd grade, but mostly in 4th. When they get up to 3rd and 4th grade, they can, if they understand this, they will then understand the reason why you do this. Okay? Or for some of you, you don't even cross that out. You just put that little 1 there, and you know that's 13. They will understand why that works because they understand this right here. They understand that that's not 5, it's actually 50. Okay? So that's the whole reason for all of this expanded form of these standard form numbers. And so again, I talked about briefly in my last video what standard form and expanded form is, and I'll just say it one more time. Standard form is just the number. So like 63 is already in standard form. That is the number 63. Expanded form is when we stretch that number out by its place value and it becomes 60 plus 3. Okay? So your 2nd grader will start to learn that this year. If they haven't already learned a little bit of it in 1st grade, they will definitely learn it this year in 2nd grade, what standard, expanded, and word form is. And we all know word form is just writing the number in words. So I'm going to do one more example, and then we're just going to go ahead and wrap this on up. So another example, let's do a 3-digit number. In 3rd grade, they work a lot with 3-digit numbers. So I'll do something like 221 minus 119. Okay? And the reason I chose these numbers is because you have to regroup. And when I say regroup, that means you have to borrow or things like that. Okay? That's what regrouping is. You have to regroup in order to solve this problem. And that's where our kids come into challenges when they have to regroup. Okay? So here I'm going to expand this number. 221, I have 200 plus 20 plus 1. Let me move my little monster. Okay. Then I have 119, so I have 100. This 1 is a 10. Okay, some kids will get that confused and say it's just 1, but it's not 1. It's a 10 plus 9. Okay, so 221, 119. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did in the first half of this video. I am going to start with my ones place and say, if I have 1, can I take 9 away? No, I can't because 9's too big and I don't have enough to take away from 1. So here I'm going to go and exchange one of these 10s, since there's 2 of them here, which makes 20. Exchange one of those 10s for 10 ones and then add it to my ones place. So here I'm going to take a 10 away. So 20 minus the 10 I'm going to take away leaves only 10 there. And that 10 I just took away, I'm going to add it to this ones place, which means I have 11. We cross that out. Now I have 11. Let me move my light so you guys can see. Is that a little better? All right, now I have 11 minus 9. Let me make sure I got my minus sign here. 11 minus 9, which is 2. 10 minus 10 is 0. So that means you won't have any 10s in the tens place. And 200 minus 100 is 100. So my answer to this problem is 102. 100 plus 0 plus 2 is 102. Okay? All right, and there you have it. You have subtraction using place value. So again, parents, if you have any questions, any comments that you want to add, please go ahead and add those below. If there is a certain topic or math skill strategy that you really would like for me to cover or do a video on, leave that below and I can do that. If there is something regarding reading that you would like for me to cover or do a video on, I can do that below. Most of my videos will be centered around math because I have taught mostly math for the extension of my career thus far, but I have taught reading as well, okay? But I have mostly taught math, so that's why most of my videos are centered around math, and I just really, really like math, elementary math especially. So go ahead, leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like, give me a thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell right next to the subscription button so that you can continue to enjoy these videos with me. I will start posting videos each week. I'm going to post 2 videos a week. If you have seen any of my other videos, you know I discuss motherhood, and I am also discussing educational topics that mostly center around Common Core strategies, skills, standards, anything of that nature. So again, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe. See you next time, guys. Bye.